All right, my next example is negative cosine of 1/2 of x. Let's see if we can get the graph here. First is basic shape. You're almost going to wish you had a little template, just these things just written out, make photocopies of them, because every single one of these has these 4 steps. The basic shape, this is negative cosine, right? Negative cosine, amplitude is the absolute value of -1. The vertical shift, there is none. If there is a vertical shift, indicate it. If there is no vertical shift, don't leave it blank. If there's no vertical shift, write none. That way I know that you know, and you know that I know that you know. We all know that you know that. So make sure if there's no vertical shift, you put none. And then we have the standard interval, or the basic interval. The basic interval for cosine, basic interval for sine and cosine both start out at 0 less than or equal to, leave it blank, less than 2 pi. And in between, you put whatever is in the parenthesis. So this is 1/2 x. Solve for x in the middle. In this case, to get rid of the multiply by 1/2, I want to multiply everything through by 2. So everybody, I want to indicate that by everybody gets multiplied by 2. So this is my indicator. This is to be interpreted as 2 times each of these. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1/2 cancels. And 2 times 2 is 4. So this goes through one cycle from 0 all the way out to 4 pi. So this is going to be a very long graph. All right, so let's see if we can draw our picture here. All right, so let's see. Vertical shift, there is none. So the axis of the graph is the x-axis. The amplitude is 1, up 1 and down 1. So here's +1, here's -1. So there's the peak line. There's the trough line. And the basic shape. Now, let's make sure we have our interval. We need our side lines here. All right? And we have to go from 0. Well, I got that's no problem. But now I'm going to do my scale. Here's 1, 2, 3. So there's pi. There's 2 pi. But that's not my side line. My side line is, oh my, I have to go all the way out to 4 pi. So if that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. If that's 3, that's 4. So this is a really long graph. Because that's the sideline. So we need to fit that graph, stretch out to fit in that interval. And notice we do have cut into 4 equal pieces already. We don't need the pi over 2's because we already have this cut into 4 equal pieces. So now we just need to put in our 5 basic points: trough, node, peak at the halfway point, peak, node, and then trough at the end, and make this elongated that's good enough. That's the graph of negative cosine 1/2 x. And I think if you graph several of these, you're going to start to get a feel for what specific changes here correspond to what specific changes here. So, again, we'll do several more of these with more practice, but that's the basic procedure. When you graph, I've kind of got this a little out of sequence. You put the vertical shift to determine the axis, then you take care of the amplitude to determine the peak line and the trough line, then you worry about. Then, actually, before we put in the basic shape, I actually should make sure we put in the side lines, we take the basic interval, and then put the basic shape. It doesn't really matter what basic sequence we go in. All 4 of these need to be done in the picture. And as you do more and more of them, you'll gain more and more experience and become much more used to this, and it becomes just part of your skill set.